Got a question from somebody who said that they feel inadequate, and I'm here to tell you that I don't know anything about your story, except for the fact that you were doing biomed or some shit, which I don't even know what it is. Does that mean that you're making the Terminator arm? Anyway, I know for a fact, without ever meeting you, that you are extremely inadequate. Well, that's the end of the video. I hope that you like that. You have to like it. You, the one that I'm talking to right now. Look, everybody's inadequate at everything. Even people who are experts in their field. Top of the game. Do they know everything about the field? No. They're by definition inadequate. Are you talking about in comparison to everybody else? Yes. That is just what we would like to address as welcome to the human experience, baby. Everybody feels like that. Except for, like, obviously there's people that have like a deluded sense of ego. Those people really actually do think they're the shit. I think anyway. But the point is that, look, that's not a good place to be in the long run. In the short term, it's great because it goes straight through the door. Pow! You need me, and here's why. I exist. Jealous? But if you're not one of those people, the average human being constantly is comparing themselves to others, as we talked before, right? Human beings are status-seeking creatures. They see things in other people that they think, oh, that guy's amazing at this one specific thing that I want to be amazing at, therefore he's a better human being. People come up with all of these stories in their heads. And that's just another story, which is inadequacy. If you think that you're inadequate, the truth of the reality is that, yeah, you probably are inadequate, but it's not the whole story. The whole story is that everybody is. And usually, if you are, say, a biomed student, you're trying to go into a lab or wherever the fuck you people go, I don't know, what do? Do you play around with squirrels all day? I don't know! I'm just guessing here. I'm guessing that you play with squirrels. Where do you even find them in Australia? I have to go to America to fulfill my get a job. But yeah. What are you going to do? Like, that is just going to be there for the rest of your life if you are a somewhat sane human being. And it's better to be a somewhat sane human being because that's just the Dunning-Kruger effect in action, right? Now, every time I ever say the Dunning-Kruger effect, everybody corrects me because, I don't know if you've guessed this yet, but I don't have a degree in psychology. And I've just read a bunch of people that have read other people with degrees in psychology and dumbed it down, and they don't have degrees in psychology. But I think from what I understand, the Dunning-Kruger effect is that you think you're the shit when you don't know anything about a subject. I come across it all the time in politics. Because I've been studying politics for 10 years, realise I don't know anything about politics, and what scares me is that the average person knows even less, obviously, because they haven't been studying it for 10 years. So, they think they know a lot. And so they say with absolute certainty, no examples whatsoever, stupid dumb tropes like liberal and liberal are just the same. They're just as evil as each other, but in different ways. Have you ever thought about that? Therefore, your entire channel with all its sources are redundant, bros. Or they say, leave the ABC alone. They are having a tough lot under the liberals. Which the retort always is, then quit. Have a semblance of dignity as a journalist. Actually, I'm going to do a video on that after this. Ooh, stay tuned, me. And you have to go back here. You know, you haven't earned the right. You have to watch every single one of these videos, even though they upload 7 days a week now. And they're very repetitive. Look, that's the story that you are telling yourself. I am inadequate. And as we've talked about in other videos, it's an incantation. You are hypnotizing yourself. What is very scary about the human mind is that it believes whatever it believes. So, if you start saying, I'm inadequate, it just becomes a deeper and deeper belief. If you are saying to yourself that I'm on par with everybody else, that becomes the belief. If you say I'm better than everybody else, that eventually becomes the belief. I think, now this is my own personal view from where I think that you should stand, because I'm just a very avid fan of the idea that you should be constantly aware that the Dunning-Kruger effect exists and you think that you're a lot better at things that you're not very good at, and the fact that you do think that you're inadequate at it shows that you've actually learned things. It shows that in your biomed degree, you have decided, oh, okay, there's people that are way better at this than me. Who'd have thought that somebody who's been doing this for 50 years is better than I am? So that's great that you have that feeling of inadequacy. It means that you have that you understand that you need to go somewhere, that there is room for you to grow in that area. So that's a really good thing to have. What I would say is that you need to have inbuilt that level of confidence. The way that I think that you develop confidence, and as we've discussed before in these previous videos, I think that the main thing that you have to understand when it comes to confidence is that just confidence is earned. Now, there's also core confidence. Talked about that. But in terms of your situational confidence, which I think is what you're talking about in this scenario, look, just understand that I think that there is a direct relationship in success to how much you are willing to humiliate yourself. It just comes down to that. Look, in these videos, I make an ass of myself every second day. Sometimes I look back at it and I think, damn, that's some profound shit, man. But like most videos that I pump out, it's just like, what the fuck was that? But then you have people that watch it and they're just like, that just made me understand things about myself. So you don't know. You don't know. Everything that you are telling yourself is a story. Unless you have real world results and feedback, everything else after that is just narrative. So when the only real difference between people that are successful in life and people that aren't successful in life is they're just willing to go through a bunch of hurdles. Neil Holhacker and myself, we're always lamenting about this, right? Because we both pushed ourselves in stand-up comedy. Instead of just getting into like some nice little niche bubble of, I don't know, there's all these little bubbles in comedy, isn't there? There's the university troops of people going, we're funny to ourselves. And then you have the other ones that are just these self-hating comedians that usually didn't even go to university, just hang around bars, that I think are just Homer Simpson's friends, sitting there like, everything sucks unless you bomb. Yeah, that's cool, bombing. All these weird little subsects of comedy, and what they do is they just feed in on themselves, and really it's just an ego stroke. They're not going out there and they're not testing whether their material is good in front of a different audience. I think the difference between Neil and I and the other ones really was that we were able to humiliate ourselves more. I have things that I wake up in the morning, and the first thought that I have is, why the fuck did I do that? That happens to me every day. You know that goes, everybody hurts film clip, and then it has all the members of the band just looking out of the window, just wondering where everybody is and what they're doing now. When I'm doing that, all I'm just thinking all the time is like, cheese muffins? How did I think that was a punchline? That is the experience of success. You have to be able to deal with humiliation and then the subsequent regret. I've given you the tools to deal with the subsequent regret and humiliation. But when it comes to this feeling of like, oh, I'm inadequate, so I'm not even going to try and I'm scared, just understand that if you give into that feeling, you will stay there. And because mostly what happens in your mind becomes self-fulfilling prophecy, this is the scary part. You will be inadequate because you won't push yourself. You won't strive to get better. You won't go for job interviews. It'll start looping on itself. Somebody who thinks that they're the shit will at least go to these job interviews, and the fact that you even went to the job interview, you're ahead of 80% of the other candidates. Because this is the thing, when you're sitting there and you're looking at all these impressive people that went for the job, there's so many people that just looked at it and thought, oh, I'm not good enough, and they didn't even go. So just you doing that, just you pushing yourself out the door, that is a win. That's the way that you should be looking at these. Always chunk things down. It's a constant lesson in self-help. Chunk things down to the tiniest micro and celebrate it when you do it. The other thing that I will give you, it's just a classic NLP training, is that what do you look like when you're confident? And you know the answer to this. Just even ask yourself right now, what does a confident person look like? And then you mimic their body language. And obviously you do that when you go into these places, because as soon as you walk in there, you want to just be telling yourself, I'm excited, I'm excited, I'm excited, I'm excited. You just want to keep saying that over and over again. And you want to have the body posture of somebody who is confident and successful. Because look, as I'm saying that right now, what does an unsuccessful person look like? Dude, it's that old incel meme. This shit. What do people that are confident look like? This. Stand up straight with your shoulders back. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much the... Look, he summed it up better. Lobsters. Old memes from 4 years ago. Like this video, if you dare.